Is this working? Hello? Is it working? Hello? Looks like it's working. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so I just wanted to first ever stream. Very excited. Before my internet connection was poo-poo, so I couldn't stream, but now it's less poo-poo. So it's time to do some streams. I just wanted to take a look at some of my favorite meme lords. I got some new ones, got some old ones, got some classics like Liberty Hangout and Caitlin Bennett. And I think we should start with this one.
Because I don't want to like her either if she is racist, so tell me why she's racist. You know why? Like someone that's racist? Like, come on, help me out here.
Why can't you tell us?
He needs to find out for himself why you're racist.
Is she gonna cry now?
Yeah. Why do they hate you so much?
I don't know. Probably because they think I'm racist and I'm not wearing a mask. Ask him. Hey, he wants to know.
Why do you guys not like her so much?
Because she's a f***ing racist and she's against women's rights. It's obvious.
Is it obvious? Are you racist?
God, I would give anything to have her come up to me in public and ask me this question, because I know the answer, right? It's all like the vaguely anti-Semitic tweets. It's the leaked chat logs. It's the I would rather live in like a monarchy or whatever than a liberal democracy. Like, it's all those things, right? It's not one specific thing that makes you a racist or anti-Semite or anti-democratic or anything. It's like all the things that have been said by you or your organization or your fiance. Like, actually, I have a video on it. Surprise, surprise. Wait, what am I doing? Go to your channel. I'm nervous, okay? It's my first time streaming. I'm a little nervous. Yeah. I have a video on this, right? So if you find her out in the street one day, if you catch her out on the streets asking motherfuckers questions like this, you can just show her this video, right? You got... Internet's a little poo-poo. Like, the only place a woman should be marching is home to start a family and take care of the house. It's a little mild. I'm having Chris Cantwell on their podcast. Those are leak logs. Where are all the other tweets at? You know, you got the Holocaust denial. I mean, like, you know, I don't expect random people to know this, and this is like where she gets her content off of, is just random motherfuckers. And then she has this person that's probably a paid actor or something to back her up, or to just ask questions or just doubt, which Caitlin is really good at, just asking questions, if you know what I mean. But you know, like this is all of her content, is just like shitty memes and just, you know, catching people out in the spot.
No, I'm not.
Do you hate black people?
Nope.
Do you hate any ethnic group?
Nope. My husband is mixed, several different.
She paused a little bit when she said mixed. Is he Hispanic, or is he like, is that considered mixed now?
Different things. So I don't know. I can't be racist if I'm married to a person.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
What's his ethnicity?
I don't see any racism.
Ask him for proof.
Like,
God, if you're ever in this situation, just like, there's I forget where the article is, because I tried to find it earlier, but there's like a really good article that like breaks all this down, and like, you could just show her this, but then she would just edit it out and not put it on her channel then. Obviously.
that she hates with.
So you guys have proof that she's racist.
No one's talking to me. I'm asking a question.
Ask
Like,
him
do
for
you
proof that I'm racist.
I just wanted to know.
I just want to know who did your hair.
Because like you guys seem to like hate her a lot. I just wanted to know why. Okay. Just like okay. No, like do you have proof that she's racist? Like.
I have proof that Donald Trump is racist, and so does everybody else because you all on Google. We all have.
Yeah, this is not like she's not racist because she supports Donald Trump. She's racist because of all the racist and anti-Semitic shit that she said.
Her phone is amazing. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, she said Google the racism from Donald Trump. It's literally a rigged algorithm. Google has been meddling and promoting their own agenda and have had to go to court in front of Congress because of it. But that's the side of the resistance loves big tech and corporations. I love that. Anyway, he's been asking for proof that I'm
Do you guys have
racist.
proof that she's racist? Are you done laughing at me? Do you have proof that she's racist? Like how is she racist? I know. Like how is she racist? Yeah.
How is she racist?
What has she done that's racist?
Obviously, okay, he even
You say obvious, but what's obvious? Like how do I know anything about her just looking at her?
I'm white. He wants proof that I'm racist.
Because I don't want to like her either if she is racist. So tell me why she's racist.
Do I look like Google? Do I look like Google?
You claim she's racist.
Yeah,
You should-
like this is not a good response, like ever, right? Like if someone's doing the just asking questions meme, you either like give them a legitimate response or you walk away. You don't, because you just making yourself look bad. But you know, like if you don't have good examples, you probably shouldn't make those claims. Not saying that she's not racist, but because this just looks really like it makes you look really dumb. It makes you look like all people who are making accusations against her are just baseless claims, even though that there are very legitimate claims to be made against Caitlin Bennett.
to know why,
Obviously.
right?
I know why.
We know why.
I don't have to tell you.
We don't have to tell you.
Why? What, you want me to like someone that's racist? Like, come on, help me out here.
This is everything that all you want to say is argue with us. And I know that you're going to cut.
I'm having a conversation. When I asked a question, you said who's talking to you. But I just want to ask you.
You're going to cut this to fit your narrative, so anything that we do or say doesn't fucking matter. So please, stop talking to me and my friends. Thanks.
I just want to know why she's racist, because I don't want to like someone that's racist.
Google it.
I'm
Pull
telling
out your
you how
phone
to
and Google
find out.
it.
Google
Pull
it.
out your phone and Google it. Caitlin Bennett.
Don't you think they should be able to give you proof right away, though?
They definitely should. I mean, I'm asking them a question that's easy to answer. Like, if you were racist,
And guess what?
I think like,
Nah, that's all. That's not true. Obviously, come on. I mean, like, I don't know, because if you are making accusations, you should have like arguments or like things to like substantiate your accusations. But you're also putting these people on the spot, and I don't know how this started. I don't know how this interaction started.
I'd know why you were racist, right? Like,
Well, they at least would.
hopefully, but they don't.
I don't know, like we were gonna we're all gonna get dinner as a group later, and you probably don't want to get dinner with me anymore if I'm a racist, but
Right.
they're gonna let you walk out with a racist?
Maybe.
Yeah, look it up. Let's tell you why she's racist.
Why can't you tell us?
He needs to find out for himself why she's racist.
To watch the full uncensored version of this video that we can't show here on YouTube and Facebook, go to libertyhangout.tv. It's a good time. Nice snowflakes.
Okay, Caitlin Bennett on Twitter. Me, if someone says I hate white people, that is racist. That, I believe that.
What?
I don't know. It says here, you said that if someone says you hate white people, or I hate white people. If I were to say I hate white people, that's racist.
If you say you hate a certain skin color, that's racist, right?
Yeah, but I don't see anything about you being racist here.
Okay, since you checked, should you double check with them? Maybe you missed something?
Yeah, I don't know. Am I like, you guys know which, like, where it would be? Like,
Sir, 6 feet, but this is a
my bad.
You don't have a
Why do you
mask
have a mask on?
I don't have a mask on me.
Why not?
I just don't have one on me. Do you guys have a mask?
You believe in COVID, right?
No, they don't want to answer it. You guys don't.
COVID is real, it's real, right?
It's definitely real, but like I think it's not as crazy as like the media is making it seem.
It's like 99.996 survival rate, right?
Yeah, I'm not stressed out about that.
Not too bad.
It's not too. I'm pretty sure it's closer to like 1 or 2% fatality rate, is it not? At least in America it is, which is like what matters, right? I don't really give a fuck how is it doing in like other countries because I live in America, and I don't want to die.
Bad. Or my new friend.
We're not your friends.
No, he's my friend, and now.
Could you guys tell me why I shouldn't be her friend? Other than just saying that she's racist.
Do you even care? There's no point. There's no point.
Yeah, I invited him to the skating rink later, and he's
Like,
not.
I'm not gonna want like I don't want to hang out with someone that's racist. So tell me why she's racist.
Say that this ads for us telling about us looting when it's not true. She makes assumptions. And she just called Kyle a hero when he murdered people.
That's her opinion. I don't know. That's not.
That's not opinion.
We'll get to the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff later because I have a little bit of some hot takes on that one.
That is an opinion. That's not an opinion. That's an opinion. I think that's not an opinion.
I think did nothing wrong.
Hey, the man who went into a protest and murdered people, that's not an opinion.
He didn't even kill any black people. How's that an example of racism? He didn't even kill any black people, just white pedophiles and
My
rapists.
dad
Isn't he half Mexican?
My dad served his country. He's a hero.
Hey, Kai, this is half Mexican. Why are you opposed to a Latino man? Are you a racist?
No, I'm not racist. I'm not racist.
So why don't you see?
And they finish it up with the classic Uno reverse racism. I'm not the real racist. You're doubting a Hispanic person or whatever. So you're the real racist. That's how you know you lost the argument, is when they slap you with that Uno reverse card. Uno reverse racism.
Say that for the camera.
Mexican isn't a race.
She's a racist.
Oh my God, you're a racist.
Mexican isn't a race.
You're a race. You're a racist.
I'm Hispanic.
bunch of racist kids out here. I know.
If you're Hispanic, what country do you originate from? Which was colonized, so aren't you a colonizer?
No, that's not how that works.
I know how that works.
My country.
You have white skin from the Dominican Republic, which colonized
Oh, that was funny.
and they brought millions of slaves to the Dominican Republic. You were probably descend from a slave
Don't ever let yourself get baited like this. This is bad.
owner. Your family probably owned slaves.
No. Guys, you're racking up my security bill, so we're gonna get out of here. To pay that security bill, go to patreon.com/CaitlinBennett. Here at Liberty Hangout, because we are culturally sensitive.
Don't do that. Wait, I want to.
And we want to diversify our employment. I have a Latino as my security guard. I am boosting the employment rates for the Hispanic community to.
Oh God, that's so cringe. I thought you didn't like identity politics. What is this? You're gonna tout him around as some sort of like token Hispanic person. I'm not a racist. See, I'm entrusting my life with a Hispanic person. Really?
Help my efforts.
It's cringe. That's bad. All right, let's not do another Caitlin Bennett video right now. Let's go to Super Bowl. Let's go to this cool little channel I found called Sports Wars today. And since the Super Bowl kind of happened a couple days ago, I'm excited to see what a I guess right-wing sports channel has to say about Tom Brady winning a 7th Super Bowl. You know, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Brady because I'm a Steelers fan. I have a Steelers hat right here. I'm going to go ahead and put it on for this video. You know, I'm personally a Steelers fan, so I hate Tom Brady because he kicks our ass every single time we try to make the Super Bowl. You know, I don't think we've ever beaten Tom Brady and the Patriots in the playoffs, or just probably ever by that, just in general. So I'm curious to see what this channel has to say about sports, right? About the Super Bowl, and hopefully it's not just going to be a bunch of brain dead anti-SJW bitching and moaning, and it's actually going to be talking about sports, because other than politics, sports is something I really, really, really enjoy.
What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with RK Outpost and GeeksandGamers.com, and Super Bowl 55 was an absolute disaster for the woke sports media and the SJWs who support them. After trying to make this season about everything but football, forcing all of the identity politics, all of the race relations, all of the national anthem nonsense this entire year, Tom Brady comes away victorious, and they can't stand it. They hate Tom Brady for so many reasons, and the people that they were supporting and holding up, Patrick Mahomes, the next GOAT, he has a disastrous game, while Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator who everyone was trying to push because the black offensive coordinator needs a position. It's a travesty that he doesn't have a position. He comes up looking so small as the Kansas City Chiefs get absolutely embarrassed. And indeed, the entire broadcast was focused on social justice, which is why the result is so absolutely hilarious. We have Tom Brady out there who wins, a straight white male who may or may not be a Trump supporter, and they are now trying to cancel the man for each and every reason because he ruined their narrative. Look at what I tweeted a couple...
What narrative is this? I'm sorry. Was I watching the wrong Super Bowl Sunday night? Did I miss the MSNBC or the Young Turks live stream? Because I don't remember any of this. I don't remember, like, mainstream people, like people that I should actually care about, trash talking Tom Brady.
Hours into pregame. In the past hour of hashtag Super Bowl pregame, I've heard about women representation in the NFL, COVID fear porn, struggles of black quarterbacks, struggles of minority head coaches, Biden blaming Trump, and more coof fear porn. Oh, and they mentioned this.
I'm sorry, did he just say coof? Is that a meme, or was that just like a really weird goof up?
Dude named Tom Brady a few times. Okay. Fun. And that's what it felt like. The entire pregame and a lot of the broadcast with a lot of the commercials involved, it was all about identity politics. So little actual football talk, which is why the NFL ratings have been so bad this year. And strangely enough, now this is really weird, we haven't got ratings yet. An unprecedented delay for Nielsen ratings. We have never waited this long before. They are going to be over 24 hours delayed. Never happened before for a Super Bowl, but they say they're still processing the information. Really makes you think, doesn't it? But
what does it make you think about? That there's this conspiracy to delay the ratings report by like a day or two? To do what? What's the conspiracy here? What does this make you think about? It seems like it's not making you think very hard.
What do we see after Tom Brady does the unthinkable and cements his legacy as the greatest of all time? Not a doubt anywhere in the world, unless you're an insane weirdo. Unless you are a fucking woke SJW who has some kind of problem with Tom Brady. Look at what ESPN tried to run. Look at this. I'm sorry, and some of y'all still question why Serena is the better athlete. They're literally trying to compare Serena Williams to Tom Brady, a female tennis player.
So, even if it was a male tennis player, it would still be a dumb comparison because, like, if you put Michael Jordan up here, these stats are not really comparable. They don't really mash up very well. That's the problem. Like, what are you gonna do? Have Serena Williams kick Tom Brady's ass in tennis, and then have Tom Brady kick Serena Williams' ass in football? So this is dumb, but you can't. You're so fucking ideologically driven. You got that fucking conservative brain rot that you can't even realize, you can't even criticize dumb things for the right reasons.
To Tom Brady. That's what these people are trying to do. And we saw what happened as well. Tom Brady called racist on social media for winning Super Bowl during Black History Month. This is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. This is actual reality. There are people out there who were mad at Tom Brady and mad that people are celebrating Tom Brady during Black History Month.
Who are these people? You got someone with 4 hearts. You got someone with 6 hearts and a bunch of comments. You got someone with like 10K. You got someone with like 2K. And some of these are even jokes. If Tom Brady beats Patrick Mahomes during Black History Month, then we have to double whatever we're demanding for reparations. It's like that's a joke. And then the ones that are like more serious, like I feel like it's racist that Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes during Black History Month. Like there's 6 that has 6 likes and 43 comments. So a lot of people didn't like that.
Look at all these tweets talking about Tom Brady during Black History Month that it just sounds racist. This is for real. These are
what is for real? There's like dumb people on Twitter. Yeah, that exists, but like I like what do you want? What do you want me to do? Consider this a really serious problem? Like this is like people are demanding that Tom Brady give back his Super Bowl and give it to Patrick Mahomes for Black History Month. What? Like what delusional reality must you be living in to hear like or see a few people on Twitter and just think that is like all of liberalism. That is what everyone on one side of the political spectrum is thinking. Like, how fucking stupid do you have to be?
Actual people. They're not living in reality, but they are actual people. And of course, we saw he got attacked by an outrage mob for showing up to the Super Bowl with no mask on. These people are freaking out that Tom Brady came there with no mask on because these people are in a cult. The mask people are in a weird echo chamber cult, and they continue to be crazy. Then there were this talk about, did Tom Brady purposely cover up the...
God, you're just going through these articles. How many of these do you think he actually read? Like any of them?
Nike logo during the Super Bowl celebration? So much noise and nonsense out there instead of truly celebrating what we just saw, which was Tom Brady telling everybody else to shut the fuck up and that I am the GOAT. I can carry any team to the Super Bowl because that's what he just showed. And of course,
I don't know. You think you could carry the Jets to the Super Bowl? You think you could carry like a really shitty team? Probably not. It's not nothing against Tom Brady by no means. I mean, listen, I got Ben Roethlisberger on my team. He can't get us back to fucking wild card round against the goddamn Browns. And the Steelers have a team. The Steelers have a defense and wide receivers. So, I don't know. It's a little nitpicky on my part.
No hints of this. Eric Bieniemy is head coach material. That he isn't one is a travesty. Eric Bieniemy not getting a head coaching gig is a travesty for the NFL. And you saw this all play out so many times during this game. A lot of the commentators, they ran entire segments about how oppressed black coaches are in the NFL. Roger Goodell begging for forgiveness and saying, we will do better. We will get more black coaches hired. Talking about Eric Bieniemy specifically. And what does the Kansas City offense do? Take a dump. They look like crap. Not too many people today talking about what a travesty it was, is it? An absolute L for these lunatics who have been trying to push this narrative. And then, of course, Colin Kaepernick started trending after because people were so angry at Tom Brady. They were so furious that...
Okay, so if you don't watch football, Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs for the last 3 years, and before that, I think he was the running backs coach. let's take a look at over the last 3 years what that offense has done, right? Patrick Mahomes, first season starting, wins MVP, makes it to the AFC Championship, loses to Tom Brady. Second season, makes it to the Super Bowl and wins it. Third season, makes it to the Super Bowl and loses. He's still one of, if not the best offensive coordinators in the league. And it does not have anything to do with his race, right? You like pointing out that, oh, everyone's freaking out, or everyone's saying that he wants to be a head coach because he's black, or we need more representation. You're taking away his achievements or his accomplishments based on his race, and you're the one who's claiming or complaining about identity politics, when in reality you're the one who's like hyper focusing on people's race.
Tom Brady, the straight, white, rich male, won a Super Bowl, that they started talking about Colin Kaepernick. You have Jason Whitlock right here. Look at Jason. Brady wins 7th Super Bowl, and there are more than 165,000 tweets about Colin Kaepernick. Could there be any more proof that Twitter is rigged? What percentage of America woke up this morning thinking about Cap? Yeah, basically no one. People upset they didn't address Colin Kaepernick more in the broadcast. Andrea Junker, I want to live in a country where Colin Kaepernick is seen as a hero and Tom Brady is seen as a loser. Now, why even that? Listen, if you want to say you want to live in a country where Colin Kaepernick is seen as a hero, that's one thing. I still think you're a fucking weirdo, but that's one thing. But you want it inverted. You want the white man to be seen as a loser. That's what this is really all about. The identity politics associated with woke journalism, woke sports. It has infested everyone. And of course, Ben and Jerry's doing their part.
Okay, so people like this are people who are ruining sports, right? I like sports, I like politics, but I don't like to fucking mash them together like a toddler, because sports and politics typically isn't very interesting, right? What major political disagreements have there been in sports recently? The kneeling for the national anthem, like players protesting before or after games. I don't really care about that. I like to watch football and I like to discuss politics, but you don't really have to like hyper politicize politics. If players want to wear a MAGA hat or kneel during the national anthem, I think they have that right. I think they have that ability as long as they can still play on an elite level. But to criticize Colin Kaepernick for doing his protest, and then to turn around and criticize people for criticizing Tom Brady for wearing a MAGA hat, like, I don't understand how you don't see just the pure hypocrisy in that.
Or buy Ben and Jerry's. That's just my personal recommendation. They might have good ice cream. They are woke as hell. They are absolutely a terrible company. They are terrible people, and they do terrible things. They're an awful company.
Wait, why are they terrible? Is it just because they're woke? Is that all it takes for you to like get this mad at a ice cream company, at a billboard, at an ice cream billboard? Really? This is all it takes for, I guess, right wingers to boycott an ice cream company.
With putting this up in Tampa, the Colin Kaepernick, I know my rights. What an absolute bitch Colin Kaepernick is. What a bunch of bitches the people at Ben & Jerry's are. But overall, it was just an absolute L. The Chiefs weren't the only ones with a loss. The woke sports media had a meltdown, and they're still having meltdowns about Tom Brady. People posting pictures of him with a MAGA hat. They just can't handle it. It is literally like TDS. That's what it is. It's TDB or TBDS. Tom Brady derangement syndrome. That's what we have going on right now with the losers on Twitter, with the woke sports media. They will continue to cry about it. They'll say, oh, but the flags, oh, but this, oh, but that. There are no excuses you can use anymore. Love him or hate him, Tom Brady just did something incredible with a team that was not the Patriots, with a brand new team that he went to, defeating the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions. And Kansas City looked like garbage. Tampa Bay looked incredible. There's nothing else you can say. But you can continue to whine, and if you do, we'll continue to make videos.
Please never stop making videos. You're one of my favorite right-wing YouTubers at this point. Just because you took something I really like, sports, the NFL, football, and you just turned it into 7.5 minutes of just whining and complaining and bitching and moaning about how liberals or SJWs or whatever are ruining football or criticizing Tom Brady for winning. And in reality, all you have to point at are tweets, people on Twitter. Like this is pathetic. And if this is what the next 4 years of no Trump is going to be, I'm starting to miss Trump already, because it's just sad. It's a little pathetic. I mean, because what it is, it's just you're like grasping at straws. You're trying to take anything or take anything as a win that you possibly can, because this isn't a win for conservatives. Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl, someone who's been and won more Super Bowls than any other player in NFL history. This isn't that uncommon. This was kind of expected. And the fact that you're trying to make this a partisan thing, a right versus left thing, makes me think that you really don't even watch football.
It's about you. Let me know what you guys think.
All right, what's next? Let's watch a PragerU video. How about that?
There are many in the West, including many who should know better, who find it difficult, unpopular, or just plain embarrassing to defend capitalism. I take the opposite view. We should double down on it. For a very simple reason. It remains not just the best, but the only chance for the least fortunate in the world to make life better for themselves and their children. And the more we see of capitalism's rival, socialism, the more proof we have that capitalism is the way we want to go. I've seen this over and over again, from my own childhood to my time as governor of South Carolina to most recently and most dramatically during my tenure as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. I grew up in South Carolina as the daughter of Indian immigrants. My mom started a small shop selling clothes and gifts that grew into a successful business.
Well, that's good. Mind you, I'm not a socialist. Not necessarily a pure capitalist either. Definitely nowhere near what PragerU is. But, you know, I believe in a mixed economy, right? I believe in regulation. I believe in helping people out, trying to give people opportunities to succeed. And if I have to guess, this is just going to be about how great the free market is. And I really don't want to end up defending socialism either, but I might have to.
She showed my brothers, my sister, and me what it meant to live the American dream. As my mother's story so vividly illustrates, America is a country where people can find jobs that match their talents and passions. Some Americans take this for granted. The rest of the world envies it. As governor of South Carolina, I marveled at capitalism.
Wait, but do they envy like our terrible school system, or how expensive our colleges are? Or the fact that like we don't have any form of universal health care. I mean, there are better systems that we can go through besides just like, you know, ultra capitalism. You know, regulations are good. Social safety nets are good, especially in times of crises, you know, like COVID.
Capitalism's power to improve lives. Our pro-free market policies helped bring in more than $20 billion in investment and created jobs in every county of the state. Those jobs provide dignity and purpose. And as I often say, when you give a person a job, you take care of a family.
But what if you're not getting paid enough to take care of your family? What if the job that you have is not really meant to be a permanent job, but that's the only job that you can find? What if the amount of money that you make every month or every week is not enough to actually take care of your family or pay for your rent or buy food or medicine? Like, these are the problems that capitalism has, and not to say that socialism would fix them all, because socialism has its issues as well, but to just kind of like blindly pretend like capitalism is flawless, it gets you in, you know, like the 1800s, or like during the Rockefeller eras and whatnot, where you get the hyper rich people, you get like the Bezoses and the Musks, and you know, you have people who are working minimum wage and barely able to scrape by.
During my time as the U.S. ambassador to the UN, I was reminded that not every country enjoys the same freedom and prosperity as America. More than 1.5 billion people still suffer under socialist regimes. In 2018, I stood on the Simon Bolivar Bridge at the border of Venezuela and Colombia. I watched thousands of Venezuelans cross into Colombia for the only meal they might have that day. I held a beautiful baby girl. Her mother told me all she wanted for her daughter was a future of freedom.
Isn't one of the biggest problems in Venezuela not that they're socialist, but more so that they have a highly dependence on crude oil, and when the price of crude oil drops, then their whole GDP is like cut in half. Isn't that kind of what happened? Not like socialism. Didn't socialism work very well for them under what's his name? Morales? I don't know. The guy before that was before the current pseudo dictator that they have in there right now.
They were one of millions of Venezuelan families whose lives have been destroyed by the country's socialist policies. So imagine my dismay to find that socialism has become trendy here in America. American socialists claim they seek a more enlightened socialism, like those found in Scandinavian countries. But those countries are not socialist.
Yeah, they're a mixed economy. They're not capitalist, they're not socialist. They're a little bit of both. You can have the best of both worlds. You don't need to pick one or the other. Oops.
They're capitalist and offer large welfare benefits. But ironically, to make their system work, they've had to repeatedly slash their corporate tax rates. Denmark has cut its corporate rate by more than half since the 1990s. Other democracies, including Israel, India, and the UK, experimented with socialism, only to abandon it, and only then did they thrive. The results are in. Socialism, however you want to define it, has failed everywhere it's been tried.
Yeah, but like universal healthcare is very popular, even in like the United Kingdom. The people love, what do they call it there? The United Healthcare System? I don't know. But like the people in the UK like love their socialized healthcare. People in Europe love their socialized healthcare because it works. You don't have to have the most extreme policy. You don't have to have complete universal, a complete publicly funded system, but some degree of guaranteed healthcare is beneficial. It does help and it does work.
A handful of elites sitting in a government office can never outthink millions of business owners and consumers making millions of individual choices every moment of every day.
And then you also cannot trust business owners to make the best decisions for the, population. They're always going to be self-interested and always do things that are going to benefit their own economic future, which you shouldn't expect anything different from a corporation or from a company.
You'd think we'd have gotten the message by now. An entire generation of American adults are too young to remember the suffering socialism caused during the last century. Instead of teaching students to reject our country's history and founding ideals, schools should have a required class on the history and collapse of the Soviet Union. Young people at least have the excuse of being miseducated.
Why would you dedicate a whole class to the Soviet Union? That's called world history. Like, I don't know what this meme that like PragerU likes to push out that our school system is being infested by by socialists or like far leftist, right? I remember learning about the Soviet Union in history class. I remember learning about the whole Cold War in history class, and it didn't really have like a positive portrayal of the Soviet Union because I don't like the Soviet Union. I don't like any system where a small portion of people, whether it's business owners or whether it's party members, control the whole government.
But what does one say about corporate CEOs who give in to social trends rather than standing up for a system that their own businesses and workers depend on? I'm talking about advocates of so-called stakeholder capitalism, a philosophy that retains the word capitalism but abandons its meaning. Recently, the chief executives of some of America's largest companies changed their self-definition. They said companies should focus on customers, workers, and communities. This is just politically correct nonsense. These CEOs know that's what successful businesses already do.
But not necessarily, and a lot of that is just like advertising almost. It's trying to get good PR. And that was the main reason why Amazon raised their minimum wage to $15 an hour. It wasn't out of the kindness of their heart. It was, to get better PR, and they thought that the national minimum wage was always like going to go in that direction anyway, so might as well just get ahead of the curve.
It's what they have to do to survive in our capitalist system. A company that cheats its customers, mistreats its workers, and abuses its community won't be around long. Profits are what keep a business going and allow it to thrive. They generate the funds needed for more job creation. You don't need an advanced economics degree to understand this. So why are these CEOs so anxious to embrace this in-name-only capitalism? Probably because they think they need to placate the noisemakers on the socialist left. But that's a fool's game.
Yeah, it's advertising in a sense. Socialism or like leftism is a little bit more popular and a little bit more mainstream now, so obviously they're gonna like pander to socialists or leftists.
The left is never satisfied. So let's defend what works. And what works is capitalism.
Wait, and the same could be said about like rightism or like fascism or whatever, right? Like they're never going to be satisfied until they have their fascist utopia, and the socialists are never going to be satisfied until they have their socialist utopia.
Until the unforeseeable shutdown of the economy as a response to the coronavirus, it was working better than ever. Unemployment was at a 50-year low. Wages were rising at the fastest rate in a decade. More women and minorities were working than ever before. Poverty was at a record low in America. Let's get back to that as quickly as possible.
I mean, but that's what happened before the 2008 financial crisis, is because when you deregulate and let corporations do whatever the fuck that they want, you're just going to end up creating a bubble. Because corporations, as you should expect, are always going to do what is going to make them the most profits. And you, like I said, you shouldn't expect them to do any more. That's the whole point of government. That's the whole point of regulations, is for the people to put checks and balances on the powerful institutions that we have in this country. And some of the most powerful institutions that we have are big corporations. I mean, Amazon is probably one of the most powerful organizations in this country. And if you just let them do whatever they want, they're probably going to cut corners. They're probably going to do things that are going to cut costs. And that's probably going to end poorly for either the consumer or for the worker.
There's only one way to do it: capitalism. I'm Nikki Haley for Prager University.
Also, why can't people just say that they're in favor of a mixed economy? I mean, that's what, because I used to consider myself, oh yeah, I want the European socialism, but it's not really socialist, right? They have good safety nets and good welfare states, while also having like strong capitalism that they give the workers rights. They have like really good union rights and whatnot. Like if we extend a lot of those rights to America, or pass laws and whatnot or better regulate corporations, then, we can also have a very good mixed economy, more so than we do right now. But that doesn't mean that we have to like give in to socialism. All right. Let's do a no bullshit video. This is my favorite right-wing meme lord right here. By far. No bullshit Brooks. Mainly just because he bitches and moans about just random not social media, but just like media stuff, like TV shows and whatnot. That's the bulk of his content. And God, he's just so funny. I love this man.
Hello and welcome back to No BS. Today we return to talking about the lots and lots of propaganda out there that seems to be pushing people into stranger relationships each and every day. Essentially, the left wing controls the propaganda, they control the media, the internet, and a lot of these TV and movie companies, and they've been creating a lot of entertainment and things to consume like movies and shows and documentaries that push people away from traditional marriages. That's when man and woman get married, they have kids, they raise them. That's the traditional American setup, and the left-wing media is very much against that, as we've seen time and time again.
Wasn't the traditional marriage was to have as much children as you can so they can help you work on your farm? And that's going back to like America. If you want to go back like 1,000 years or whatever, marriage was like property rights.
Again, specifically today, we're talking about another kind of idea and concept they push out there. They try to glorify a thing called polyamory. Polyamory is basically an open relationship. It means you might be in a relationship with someone, but that person can have other relationships, as can you. You basically have an open relationship. You just go and date other people, and sometimes it's different setups. Sometimes it's 2 people. Sometimes there's 3 people. Other times it's like a big group. Like, for example, we talked about this before when there was that polyamorous group in Florida who happened to have like...
Only in Florida.
One girl and 5 guys living in a house. You can imagine how that goes. But the weirdest part about that story,
And that's what I call a reverse Mormon.
following up on it now, is basically that was glorified by a YouTube channel called Barcroft TV. Lots of other people picked up the story in the media, in the press, and they tried to push it out there as this cute, feel-good story. One of the girl even got pregnant, and they were all going to raise it together. But that story actually has a bad ending. There was follow-ups on that where the girl ended up having to leave the house because the baby wasn't taken care of properly. All kinds of sad stuff coming out of there. So we're not here to talk about that, but that is a good example of how this stuff can go wrong, how it's strange and odd, and how it's proving that really the mainstream media.
God, what a this is why he's my favorite, is because all the reasons why he likes or dislikes something is because it feels weird, right? You don't have to be polyamorous if you don't want to. I personally, it doesn't seem like something I would want to do, but you know, people have the right to do whatever the fuck that they want, right? Within reason, right? You don't have the right to fuck a child, but if you want to like have multiple partners, that's your prerogative, right? That's your decision.
Media is against traditional relationships.
And one example of something ended up badly does not, say everything under that example is bad.
They don't like people that are straight. They don't like people who get married, have kids, have a family. So they're trying to break that down. And we're going to talk more about it soon. We're going to talk about how HBO has a new documentary focusing on this story and trying to push more polyamory. It's called There's No I in Threesome. We're going to talk about it right after this quick break. Virtual Shield is the only VPN I'll ever use because they have protection as get 50 and service anonymous shot. And fact says polyamory. That's out of the way. Here's an article with more details. This is from E! News. It says there's no I in threesome preview. See an engaged couple try their hands at polyamory. Dive into one couple's attempt at a polyamorous relationship with HBO Max's There's No I in Threesome coming February 11th. So this seems like it could be an innocent setup. It's not really necessarily bad. Again, to preface this, we're not here to like attack people with different lifestyles, different relationships. I'm just here to point out the down.
But you can't start off your video about how weird polyamory is and how it ends badly in this one example, and then go on to be like, well, we're not trying to criticize people or harass people with different lifestyles, because it seems like that's exactly what you're doing.
Notice the trend. Notice how straight couples are frowned upon, and these kinds of couples are put up on a pedestal when really, like we talked about with that Florida example, these things don't always end well. And polyamory,
but sometimes they do. So it's probably not the polyamory that makes it end poorly.
Relationships can end really badly. It's not a healthy setup, in my opinion. It's really not for me personally. I'm not sure if all of you agree. It's not necessarily a big point that we can't get past here, but it is something that obviously places like HBO are pushing. HBO has been known to be woke. They support a lot of things like progressive politics, SJW stuff. They're always having minority-driven plots that are anti-white in a lot of ways. They glorify ancient history, like racism from hundreds of years ago gets brought up in a lot of their shows. Watchmen is an example from a couple years back that comes to mind. Other stuff like that just basically, yeah, this is coming from HBO is to be expected. Them pushing this
So your examples was Watchmen and them bringing up that racism existed in the past. No specific examples, just that they bring up racism in some shows because that's called history, Brooks. There was really bad racism in the past. I don't know if that triggers you or not. And these are the people that say, like, I get triggered. Not me specifically, but like liberals or the left gets triggered by history, right? When they don't. They just like to accept that like bad things happened in history, right? We should learn from our mistakes. We should acknowledge that happened. We shouldn't feel guilty about it. I've never felt guilty for my race or for like my maleness or whatever. You just acknowledge that you have some like predisposed benefits or privileges, and then you also have some predisposed disadvantages from being a guy or being white. You know, granted, they don't outweigh the advantages that you get, but you know, that's just society. We live in a society. The big Jordan Peterson meme.
Polyamorous relationship stuff is really kind of weird and kind of creepy because they're like trying to break down the family. It's essentially like other stories we've talked about too. Like, for example, we've covered a few stories that glorified cheating. Things like at Christmas, we had a story. There was like someone said, oh, give your husband a free cheat pass and let him cheat for Christmas or something like that. Let your wife cheat as a gift for a birthday. Like,
it's not cheating if you like let them, right? It's just like polyamory.
really bad, creepy stuff. And it's just like they're trying to
Wait, why is it bad? Why is it creepy? Like, Brooks, you don't have to do this. You have a wife, I think. You don't have to let her or have yourself fuck someone else. You know, you don't have, no one's forcing you to do this. No one's pressuring you. This is just like a different lifestyle, right? It's interesting, I guess. It's not something I would really watch because I don't really care about this. But, you know, some people might find this interesting, and it's just a different lifestyle. I don't know if this is really, like, pushing polyamory on people.
Sabotage relationships, like they're trying to push that on you, and obviously that's going to tear them apart. Not a lot of people can handle this kind of cheating and infidelity and things like that. It's not common, it's not natural, I don't think, and that's why
wait, what? Isn't having multiple partners like very natural? Like in nature, it depends on what, and this is why the whole nature argument is really dumb, because it really just depends on what animal, right? I think like penguins, and that's because I watched Atypical recently, so I'm basing this is off of a Netflix show, but penguins mate for life, and then like other animals don't necessarily. Or even if they do, the whole nature argument starts to fall apart when you realize that humans start driving cars or own other animals as pets. Like nothing humans do is natural.
We're going to talk more about it soon. Let's go ahead and read the article first. Engaged but not exclusive. On Tuesday, January 6th, HBO Max released a trailer for its new documentary feature, There's No I in Threesome, which follows a newly engaged couple as they embark on an open relationship. That's Zoe, she's an actress, and this is me, Ollie, I make films. Director and star Jan Oliver Luck starts off in the trailer below. We got engaged 1 year ago and have been in an open relationship for 3 months. So I'm already a little confused. I don't get why you would get engaged and then open your relationship for 3 months. It just seems counterproductive. It's like you're not enough for each other. You're not wanting to be exclusive with someone. Like, why even get engaged? It doesn't.
Isn't the whole big polyamory thing that you can like be in like an emotional like loving relationship and then also just have like just physical pleasure? Isn't that kind of the whole like idea behind polyamory? Now, granted, I'm not polyamorous, nor do I really want to be, but you know, if it's something you want to try out, go for it, buddy. It's your life. If you don't. It's your life.
Sound right?
Do whatever you want.
To me, I don't get what they're going for. It's really a weird kind of contradiction. It's like, also, it just seems to me like it's something they're doing to get attention. They're trying to make a documentary, and it just sounds like an interesting story.
He did it. He did it all by himself. Oh my God. I'm so proud of him. He figured it out. It's an interesting story, and they're making a documentary on it.
And it honestly sounds like they're trying to cash in on this polyamory trend a little bit. Like
Yeah, he figured it out. Oh my God, I'm so proud of him.
We've been saying from the beginning of this video, this polyamorous stuff has been trending. Not only do we have that story I talked about with the Florida people, there's also other videos we've covered. We had another example very similar to this actually on a BuzzFeed video we covered a few years back. BuzzFeed had a polyamory video where a couple tried an open relationship in BuzzFeed. They were like making a video about it. It actually ended really badly too because the girl was like the one pushing for it, and she went and tried, and they both tried, and it turned out like the guy did a lot better job at dating again, and the girl couldn't find dates she liked, and she got jealous, and it just turned into a mess. Like, that's another bad example, was that BuzzFeed one. I'll try and link some of these videos below if you want to catch up and get in on these old ones. They've been out for a while, but they're still good. And it's just related to this meme of like pushing polyamory in progressive, liberal-based media.
But I'm part, not really part, obviously, but I engage a lot in like left-wing media or left-wing people, and no one's ever tried to push polyamory on me. Like, just because there's an interesting story about polyamory that they're doing a documentary on doesn't mean that like this is something that they're pushing on people. And this is the problem with this guy, is that he will like get so outraged or make like this like clickbaity title about something that he doesn't really even know about. He's just reading like an article about something that has he even watched this? This is out, right? When was this video posted? Oh my god, yeah, he probably didn't even watch this. Why is he making a video on this?
Like E-News, like BuzzFeed, like Barcroft TV, and other people that have covered this. This is their goal, is to put that out there. And it's not the worst angle. I mean, if we didn't think about it a little bit, if you didn't have a little bit of class, I understand what they're pushing. They're pushing this to younger people, and it kind of sounds good at face value. You're like, oh, I could be married, but also have other relationships. Like I could get laid in other ways. Like, oh yeah, like especially if you're a dude, you're like, oh, I could sleep around, and we throw this.
What are the odds that he ends up talking himself into this? That he's like, you know what? Actually, this isn't a bad idea.
This polyamorous label on it, and makes it sound okay. It makes it sound fancy. Even you're like, oh, we're polyamorous. It sounds like we're like smart or some kind of other thing, like evolved or something. Is kind of how they want to pitch.
Is this guy for real? Sometimes I can't tell. Sometimes I just absolutely cannot tell if this guy is genuinely this dumb. Because just because you think it's a big word or it sounds smart doesn't mean that people who actually know what the word means. Yeah, that's not fair. He gave a pretty okay explanation at the very beginning.
It to people, and I could see why that's enticing, but I strongly am against that kind of thing. Like, I would never do it, not recommend it for anyone I know. It's up to you guys. Like, I'm not saying I'm against people like this, but in my opinion, it really does sound like they're trying to cash in, and it's like they probably weren't even going to get married. They just said, hey, let's get engaged and then make this documentary. And because what's an engagement? I mean, engagement isn't really much. It's nice to have that commitment, but it's also just verbal. All you can maybe get someone your rings, but you're not even like signing a paper or officially getting married. While Zoe and Ali may be in.
I'm sorry, what? I mean, like, why is signing a paper? Like, you can just get divorced. Has no one told him this yet? Does he not know about divorces?
Love, as the preview touts, they are not.
Whoa, what?
Exclusive. This is made abundantly clear. Monogamy. Plenty of hookups, including the pair's first threesome. On why the twosome has chosen to explore polyamory, Ali explains the idea is to highlight an alternative to monogamy.
What? Hold on. Is this on me?
Engagement. I mean, engagement isn't really much. It's nice to have that commitment, but it's also.
Okay, something's wrong with my stream.
Monogamy. That you.
Do I need to restart my stream? Is that what's
Hey
going on?
guys!
I have no idea what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna restart my stream, I guess.
Hookups, including the pair.
Okay, I'm gonna restart my stream, I guess. No? Wait, what? Yeah!
Based TV.
Doesn't mean that.
Preview touts, they are not.
Whoa, what? Yeah,
Exclusive. This is made abundantly clear. Monogamy.
I'm very confused right now. Okay. What the fuck was that?
Based TV.
Doesn't mean that.
Preview.
Okay. We're back.
You can have your cake and eat it too. Yet Ali does warn that's how it started anyway. Although Ali mentions insisting on some rules, he finds himself with a girlfriend as well as a fiance. Speaking for the traditional monogamous in the audience, Ali's friend quips, you got a fiance and you don't need a girlfriend. Well, yeah, that's a pretty good point. I think this is just kind of a silly idea. It's a cash grab, and it's part of this propaganda that's definitely out there. Like, no one can deny.
Wait, is it propaganda? Are they trying to push this on people, or is it a cash grab? Because it can't really be both. Like, I mean, it is a cash grab. I mean, but that's kind of what, like, all media is, right? Like, Avengers Endgame was a cash grab. All movies ever, the whole point, well, not all movies ever, right? There's some, like, lower budget movies that are more like art, trying to do, like, cool artsy things or whatever. But yeah, this is the whole point of this, is to, get people to subscribe to HBO Max or get people to continue their subscription or whatever.
There's a lot of stories like this, a lot of glorifying of alternative relationships, and just kind of like dissing the classic standard relationship, the marriage and raising kids in a partnership. Even if that partnership, it doesn't even have to be male or female. Like, we could even make the argument of male, male, female, female. I think the main point
is Brooks becoming a little bit more woke? Is he okay with gay marriage? Because I don't know. I've been watching this guy for like 2 years. And I remember there was this, I forgot what he was talking about, but I remember there was like a Spider-Man thing over. Because I made a video about it way back when I first started YouTube. And he said some real anti-Semitic shit. And that was really funny. So is he just, is he doing the thing that he's criticizing HBO for? Just, saying whatever's more popular or what's trendy, because like leftism is becoming more popular or trendy, so he's trying to become a little bit farther left by like not shitting on gay people? Or has he always been like this? I don't know. I haven't watched him in a couple months.
Is two people committed to each other, no third, fourth, or fifth parties, just a one-on-one relationship, raising families, building society, bringing this country to a better place. And really, I think a lot.
But why does that make it a better place? Like, you still haven't explained, other than it's weird, why polyamory is like bad, right? It's not for everybody. I'm not polyamorous. I've said this like 3 times throughout this video, and you don't have to be polyamorous either. But if like people want to be polyamorous, they can. And also just making a video or making a documentary showing a different lifestyle isn't pushing that lifestyle or dissing traditional lifestyles, like male, female, single, family, whatever household.
A lot of ways the polyamorous push is just a way to try to break down regular relationships, a way to split people up, keep us divided. Divide and conquer is a big liberal tactic. They also don't like strong relationships and marriage, because then people count on each other and they don't really need the government.
The fuck are you talking about?
As much. They don't need Democrats and their welfare and their free checks and all that stuff. So it's definitely part of their system. They like to reward people by being single. Single mothers get more welfare, things like that. And this
should they not? Should two-parent households who make more money get more welfare than a single parent household? Brooks, think about the shit you say before you say it.
This is a way to kind of sabotage relationships and get them to fall apart in this kind of insidious propaganda style that's showing it as a positive thing, but really people don't realize it'll definitely come to backfire on them later on. The situation becomes more complicated as Zoe struggles with jealousy over Ollie's budding relationship with a new partner. She informs her fiance.
Right, so this isn't this is showing both sides. This is showing like the positives and the negatives of a potential polyamorous relationship. So it's not pushing polyamory on people. Maybe you should read the article before you do the video.
Just don't go see her all the time. Later on, Zoe says jealousy is just this thing that they've discussed. Still, Ollie appears to experience envy as Zoe gets a new partner. He's heard declaring, "I want to stop." In fact, Zoe goes on to wonder if Ollie would leave her if it wasn't for the film. Yikes. The trailer concludes it's an experiment in love, a test of commitment, but in the end, someone always gets screwed. Watch the intriguing new trailer below. Well, I don't think we really need to watch it. I'm sure they would.
Guy looks like, I'm blanking on his name, but Michael Scott from The Office. I don't know why I can't think of anyone's name tonight, but that's who he reminds me of.
The copyright claim it. This guy definitely looks like some sort of soy boy letting his wife or future wife go around with other people just so he could sleep with other people. It sounds a little.
Wait, but I thought you said you weren't gonna harass people or like make fun of people or judge anyone. You can't have your cake and eat it too, Brooks.
A little selfish to me. It sounds a little hedonistic and just not a good idea, not the way this presented. I think it's also misleading and part of a propaganda push that is really worrying right around now. That about wraps things up today, guys. Tell me what you think by commenting below. Subscribe.
I'm gonna comment.
If you're new, hit the bell.
Oh my god. Should I comment? I don't even know what I would comment. Holy shit. Because all he did was just talk about how weird polyamory feels, right? You didn't explain why it's a bad idea. You just pointed to things in the article that I thought you thought this was like an SJW propaganda, but at the same time, you're also talking about how they do talk about the bad aspects in this documentary. Like, I thought you were supposed to be the facts over feels people. What happened to that? Oh boy. Let's do another Caitlyn Bennett video. Because I love Caitlyn Bennett.
I'm back. Since I've been away for a few weeks, you've probably been wondering where I went. Well, I can definitely tell you I was not over at libertyhangout.tv giving my uncensored opinions that social media has been banning Trump supporters.
And neither should you.
Of course I wasn't. Instead, I decided I would take the advice of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and I spent the last few weeks away at Jack Dorsey's Camp for Conservatives, re-educating myself on what an awful president Donald Trump was,
funny.
how hateful I am, and what a glorious leader Joe Biden will be. That way, I can keep my YouTube channel.
That has to be my favorite picture of Joe Biden. Just him sucking on a finger. Because you know that's how that man sucks on his wife's titties, right? Just blank stare, just, you know, slips.
I used to support traditional values, think there were only 2 genders, and think that America should put America first. I had a disease, but now I'm better. Now I think there are 83 genders. I think Joe Biden is more
Is the disease called schizophrenia? Because you don't sound better, Caitlyn.
Catholic than the Pope, and that
Or is it, you also have irritable bowel syndrome? Because it seems like you might at one point.
we should open the borders, undocumented migrants. My camp director, Brian Stelter, taught me that Donald Trump was literally Hitler. Sure, he may have had the lowest ever unemployment rate for Black and Hispanic Americans, and sure, he may have created millions of new jobs, and sure, the average American family brought home thousands of more dollars, but who cares how the country is doing when he wrote really mean tweets?
We can be politically correct and we can be stupid, but it's going to get worse and worse.
So what that thousands of people already lost their jobs under Joe Biden, even though he's only been president for a week?
Caused a bunch of job loss. You realize that, right?
Glad that decency is back in the White House, okay? And who the heck cares that Donald Trump helped produce a vaccine in record time when the media said he couldn't? Let's be honest. All the credit should go to Joe Biden because his 100-day mask mandate is very science-driven and is going to save the entire world. I, for one, also...
No, not alone, it's not. It's a start, but like...